Morning and happy Friday to those of you who are doing this on Friday with me. Today we're going to do Haiku Day 2. I know we started this in social studies and today is an ELA day, but that is okay. Haiku can be part of ELA as well. Our learning targets for today are that you will be able to write your own haiku using a kigo. Does anyone remember what that is, a kigo? And the 5-7-5 format. So if you remember, a kigo is one of those seasonal words that gives you a clue about what season the haiku is about. And this 5-7-5 format, what is that about? 5 syllables, 7 syllables, 5 syllables. Okay, so as a warm-up today, I want to get your brain moving. So how many syllables are in the following line? Remember, a syllable is the individual sounds in a word. So if we look at this first word, Peter, we're thinking about how many sounds are in that word. And yesterday we talked about the fact that one of the easiest ways is to either clap or tap it out. So Peter, right? How many times did I clap? Peter. 2. So how many syllables are in this sentence? Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. Pause your video, figure it out. Hopefully you came up with 12. Okay, think back to yesterday and all the haiku work that we did. So what is a haiku anyways? And what makes it a haiku? Pause your video, think. And remember that a haiku describes a just snapshot in time. It's almost like looking out your window and describing exactly what you see in just 17 syllables. Or it's almost like taking a picture, right? Haiku is, you could almost think about it as a picture. And just like we talked about yesterday, a haiku, or at least the kind that we're going to be writing today, have 17 syllables, and they're arranged in this 5-syllable, 7-syllable, 5-syllable pattern. So 5 syllables in the first line, 7 in the second, 5 in the third line. And what are we talking about when we're saying that it's like a snapshot? Let's look at this one here, number 7. A mountain village under the piled up snow, the sound of water. So you can almost just picture somebody sitting and observing this mountain village, and they're saying that it's piled up with snow and that somewhere in the distance they can hear the sound of water. And then the beautiful thing about that is that because there are so few words, it's really up to you to kind of recreate the rest of the image in your mind. So as I'm thinking about this, I'm thinking about a village that is totally covered in snow, and maybe somewhere off in the distance there's a sound of trickling water. I'm picturing the village, I'm picturing the snow. That's the beauty of haiku. There's so few words there that it's up to you to kind of imagine the rest of the scene. Let's read one more. From across the lake, past the black winter trees, faint sounds of a flute. So I'll let you kind of think about what image that creates in your mind. From across the lake, past the black winter trees, faint sounds of a flute. So today we're going to be writing our own haiku, as promised. And you have a choice today. So I'm going to start out by putting my name in the heading, the date. Yikes. Already the 12th, and the subject is haiku. So today it says you may choose if you'd like to write a more traditional haiku, an animal haiku, or both. So when I'm talking about a more traditional haiku, I'm talking about the kinds of haiku that we read yesterday. The kind that really just describes one moment in time, almost kind of like a picture, and that has a kigo. a seasonal word. So if you'd like to write a more traditional haiku, that's great. Or you can write an animal haiku. And this is just supposed to be fun. I want you to have fun with this. So animal haiku. What is that? Well, I added to our list of haiku examples down here, and I kind of split it up between traditional at the top, 10 traditional haiku, and then I included some animal haiku down here. So this first one is describing a fox, king of the woodland, huntsman most extraordinaire, at home, anywhere. Okay. This one is a bit of a riddle. Let's see if you can figure out what animal is being described in this haiku. I think so. Green and speckled legs, hop on logs and lily pads, splash in cool water. What kind of animal is being described in this haiku? A frog. Okay. How about this one? In a pouch I grow on a southern continent. Strange creatures I know. So what kinds of animals live in pouches and live on a southern continent? Can you think of it? Maybe you need to pause your video. It's probably a kangaroo is what they're describing. Maybe it's a wallaby. Maybe it's even a seahorse. They have pouches, right? But it does say on a continent. So, and then here's this last one, dragonfly. Hover, dart, hover. A dazzlement of color. Joy of this summer. Ooh, I like that one. It kind of has a little rhyme scheme going on there. Some good rhythm. Okay, so anyways, we need to go back to our brainstorming sheet. And you need to think about, are you going to write an animal haiku or a traditional haiku? I'm going to start out by doing a more traditional haiku, and then I'll swing back around and do an animal haiku. So for your traditional haiku, you need to think about some kigo that you could potentially use that would indicate which season you were writing about. Right now, it's still spring for another 9 days. So I'm going to write about spring. What are some words that pop into your mind when you think about spring? Well, maybe just the word spring itself. I think flowers, buds of flowers, maybe freshly mown lawn smell, birds, bugs. So just do a quick brainstorm of all of those things. And then it's time to write the actual haiku. And this is really just a process of trial and error. So remember, your haiku is just describing one moment in time. As I'm sitting here right now at my kitchen table, the birds are chirping very, very loudly. So I'm going to start with, robins. That gives me robins, 2 syllables. Chickadees. Chickadee is another kind of bird. They make that chickadee-dee-dee-dee-dee sound. Robins, robins, chickadees. 5 syllables. Okay, there's my first line. And they are singing so loudly, so how am I going to describe that? Remember, my second line needs to be 7 syllables long. So I'm going to say, robins, chickadees, alert the world. Alert the world. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I need 3 more syllables. Day is coming. Day is coming. Robins, chickadees, alert the world. Day is coming. Okay, 1 more 5-syllable line. Maybe I say spring in Washington. That's 5. Or maybe I say they alert the world, day's coming with their morning song. With their morning song. That's 5. And remember, this is a process of trial and error, and it's tricky, right? Because you have to have the correct amount of syllables. So be tapping it out. And feel free to come back to this. Take 5 minutes away from it, come back, look at it again. This is iterative, right? The first time you write something is never going to be exactly the way you want it. So get something down, maybe take a break, come back and look at it and make some changes. There's one. I'm going to write another one though, because I had this moment. I have been taking my surfboard to go paddle on this lake in the mornings. And yesterday, as I was paddling, I stopped and I was sitting on my surfboard and it was rainy and I could hear the birds. And then I could also hear a Ray Charles song off in the distance. And I looked up and I saw from this house very early in the morning somebody painting the inside of their house, and they were just blasting Ray Charles. And I love Ray Charles, so I'm going to write a quick haiku about that. I won't take you through the process though. And just so you know, Ray Charles is often referred to as the genius, and he truly was. So there is my second haiku. So write a couple. Okay. Now I'm going to walk you through what it would look like if I were writing an animal haiku. So think about which animal you want to write about. For me, I have this one pileated woodpecker that's always right outside my house, who I really like to watch. If you don't know what a pileated woodpecker looks like, it's this guy. Very distinctive with that red crest on their head. Very pretty. So I'm going to write about a woodpecker. Oops. So I need to brainstorm a list of descriptors for my animal. What does it look like? So it has a red crest. That's that part of its head. I could say red head, I guess, but red crest, black body. It taps very loudly. That's probably good enough to start. And then in my haiku, I'm going to make it clear what animal I'm talking about without actually saying the animal's name. It's kind of like a riddle. So if I describe it well enough, then hopefully the reader will be able to figure it out. Instead of just saying, I have a red crest, which I could do, that's 5 syllables. I have a red crest. It sounds kind of boring to me. So I'm going to say crest of fiery red. Ooh, that's better. And what are they doing when they're tapping very loudly? Well, they're looking for food. They're looking for bugs. So I'm going to say the quest, 1, 2, for bugs. That's 4 syllables. The quest for bugs continues. The quest for bugs continues. 7 syllables. I wonder if someone could figure it out from here. I think my last line is just going to be tap, 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 tap. Look at that, 5 syllables. Crest of fiery red. The quest for bugs continues. Tap, 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 tap. So, just to review, you can write a traditional haiku that's just describing one snapshot, one moment in time that uses a seasonal word. Or you can write a haiku about an animal of your choosing, and you might want to Google that animal to come up with a brainstorm of what it looks like. Or you can do both. So on this page, you're doing a little bit of brainstorming and then writing at least one haiku down here in the second half of the page. Any questions? Send me an email. You guys are great emailers now, by the way, and have a great rest of the day and a great weekend. See ya.